One of the things that professionals like myself look for in Navajo blankets is yarns. Yarn identification is everything. And if you don't know how to identify the yarns, you're not going to be able to price the pieces correctly. The reason this is so critical is because certain yarns were only made and used by the weavers at certain time frames. So you have to learn those time frames, and you have to know the types of yarns. If you don't, you'll never be able to understand the real essence of early Navajo textiles. This is critical for the blankets between 1840 and say 1910 because different types of yarns were used. The first thing you need to learn about is Bayeta. Bayeta is a trade cloth, and this particular piece of cloth that I'm showing you right now is an original piece of Bayeta cloth. It was collected in the 1860s. We know this, we actually know the history of it. These pieces of cloth, individual strips would be taken from the cloth, and from those they would be either recarded or taken strip by strip individually and either paired or put into triplicate, and you can see the type of yarns. You'll notice with the Bayeta that it has a little bumpy appearance to it. This is because it was hand stripped and hand plied. The other type of yarn that you'll see are Saxony. Saxony is the precursor to Germantown yarns, and it's called Saxony because it came out of the German area of Saxon. The Saxony yarn is generally a three-ply yarn, and it's natural dyed. The only way to really know this is to have spectrophotometry done. These three-ply yarns are very clean and crisp, and they usually are very obvious once you identify the differences. The next type of yarn is Germantown yarn. Very similar to the Saxony, but the colors are aniline or synthetic. Remember, aniline dyes were invented by Perkins in 1856, so they didn't really make it out into the reservation until about the 1870s. The earliest example is one from 1868, which is White Antelope's blanket, which is now in the School of American Research. So what we have to learn are how to distinguish between hand-spun yarn, which is made by the Navajo, spun by the Navajo, Germantown yarn, which is a commercial yarn, Saxony yarn, which is also commercial, but has a natural dye, and then of course Bayeta. Bayeta is the key. If you see this type of yarn used in early blankets, you know it's valuable.